What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guy. The Olight BALDR S. This is Olight's most recent iteration in the BALDR series of lights, starting with the BALDR Mini, then the BALDR RL, and now the BALDR S. Guys, the firearm is empty and safe. Man, this firearm needs a cleaning. I've put a ton of rounds through this. Well over 1,000. I think I stopped counting at like 1,500 odd. I've really run this light, and we'll get into that, and I'll tell you some pros, some cons. We'll talk about what's in the box, and we'll talk about the specs and all those things. So let's start off with the pros. Straight out of the bat, guys, this is the brightest compact weapon light on the market, or at least that I know of. I don't know of another compact weapon light putting out 800 lumens, and you really do notice a difference. I'll throw in some beam shots, and I don't know, for something that has only 4,400 candela, it does have a very good hotspot, and you really can tell the difference between the output of the BALDR S compared to the output of, say, the Streamlight TLR7A. Now, as we know, output isn't everything. Survivability and functionality for me is even more important than output, because the purpose of a weapon mounted light is for me to use it to gather data to make good decisions, right? The secondary purpose, or an added purpose, is the ability to remove the visual horizon from your potential threat or the object or person or whatever you are shining that light at. But most importantly, I wanted to be able to provide me with information. The second pro is that the BALDR S has the locking screws, right? You'll see two holes over there and over there. Once you've zeroed your BALDR, which is really, really easy via the two holes over there and over there for range and windage, I actually zeroed mine to my red dot, not even at the range, but we'll get to that in a second. Once you've zeroed it and you're happy, you then tighten these locking screws. That effectively turns this into one solid unit, right? This can no longer slide once it's locked, and it does a very good job with maintaining or holding the zero of the laser. Now, I can tell you, from the first 5 shots or 10 shots or 15 shots or whatever it was, to the last 15, 10, 5 shots or whatever it was, the Olight BALDR S has held zero perfectly. 100% perfectly. I have not had a single issue. This light's been on and off my firearm. I shipped it to Johannesburg. It was shipped back to me. And through all of that, it has not lost its zero at all. So I'm quite impressed with it. I will also note that the laser is very visible, or clearly visible, shall I say, even if you're using it with the light on. It might not look like that on camera, but I can tell you that visually with your eye, even on white targets, you will be able to see your laser even in a bright environment. Now, the way to function the light is there's a little toggle at the bottom, all the way to the right, as you would be facing down the sights of your firearm. All the way to the right is just flashlight. The center is flashlight and laser. And all the way to the left is just laser, and I have no idea why anybody would use that. Another nice feature for someone like myself who reviews different products is the quick release, that something that Olight's become famous for, but not just for gear reviewers, for people who only put weapon lights on their firearms at night. Some people don't carry during the day with a weapon mounted light, so something that's easy on, easy off just makes their life that much more convenient. Now, in terms of modes, you do get 2 modes. The mode that I think everybody should use is the 800 lumen mode, and you get that for 1 minute, dimming down for however long, unimportant, 800 lumens for 1 minute. And then if you double tap the on off button, you get a 100 lumen mode, and you get that for 140 minutes. Now with the laser on, it's pretty much the same, 800 lumens for 1 minute, but with the low mode, you get the 100 lumen mode for only 90 minutes when the laser is on. Let's get into what's in the box. So you get your manual, unimportant. You get your Olight charging cable. You know, all Olights charge with a magnetic charger. You get some extra setting screws and a little tool to zero your laser, and that is about it. Now, I can tell you that I've put more rounds through this light in review than most YouTube reviewers would, barring someone like Aaron Cowles with Sage Dynamics, who is like my YouTube review idol. Not many reviewers are going to have run this firearm as much as I've run it. And one of the biggest problems is the ability to, or inability to, activate the buttons or press the buttons or activate the freaking light. So what I want to say about this is, guys who shoot, they like positive feedback. What do I mean by that? I like the ability to get positive feedback when I click a button, whether it be in the form of a tactile click or an audible click, right? Of which a Streamlight TLR7A has both. The Olight BALDR and pretty much all the mini Olights have none of that. The on-off button is just like a sponge. There's no tactility in the button, touch or audible, and I feel like that is a massive oversight. Not only that, the buttons are tiny, I mean tiny. I don't see why, and I've said this before of many other, well, actually, to be fair, I've said this before of the Streamlight TLR7A. I think it's a huge oversight that people who make compact weapon lights seem to think that they need to make the switches smaller. The need to activate the light, whether you have a compact weapon light or a full-size weapon light, is no different. If you can make a button this big that has tactility and an audible click, you should do it for every single light. Just because it's a compact weapon light doesn't mean you should all of a sudden go to something that size that you have to fiddle with and really struggle to find. Now, I have tried everything. I've done more draw strokes with this than some people will ever do draw strokes in their life. I can absolutely not get it down to where I can consciously and subconsciously draw this firearm and activate the light every single time in the same way, because I don't know if I think it's got to do with my grip, because people say that they can, right? And I'm not saying they can't, but I think the way I grip the firearm, look where I have to put my thumb. This is my standard firing grip. It's a bit difficult to show you this. My thumb has to come all the way back to there to activate that, and even then it's only my nail that's really on it, right? So I'm not prepared to sacrifice my grip to change the way I grip the firearm in order to be able to switch a light on and off. Okay, especially when I don't have to do it with other lights. And as you've seen, I've been through draw stroke after draw stroke. I've resorted to, when I'm carrying my overt setup, to actually switching the light on as I put it out of the holster with my trigger finger. But that's something that I've only done about 20 times. So I'm not even 100% down with that. Now we'll just roll in, just in case someone says, well, you don't know how to draw your firearm or whatever the case may be, you're slow anyway. I will roll in some shots of me drawing and shooting without activating the light. Now I do understand that activating the light does slow you down a bit, but it shouldn't slow you down as much as it's slowing me down. That is a definite con for me. It's a definite oversight from Olight, where they've almost got this thing down, right? They're getting close. As much as I appreciate that you can lock this down, this rail is always going to be a weak point. Olight are fairly new in the weapon light game, but I do appreciate their ability to continually evolve. They started off with the original PL Mini, which I think as a weapon light is still Olight's best weapon light. Then they went to the PL Mini 2, which offered subcompact guys a reasonably sized weapon light. Then they went to the BALDR Mini, the BALDR Mini RL, and now finally the BALDR S. In South Africa, it's 3,500 Rand. So reasonably well priced. If you compare it to the TLR7A, it's less expensive than TLR7A. I just wish they could get the buttons sorted out. If they do get that button sorted out, I think they'll be in business. I have run the buttons as hard as I can run the buttons. I've also run the light as hard as I can run the light. I've put this thing through so many rounds. I can tell you, I'm comfortable to say, if you buy this, zero it, and use it responsibly, like keep it charged, then you're not going to have a problem. So, in conclusion, long story long, the Olight BALDR S, if you're looking for a light laser combination, I think it's probably the best you're going to get your hands on right now for the money. In terms of reliability, it has been 100% reliable for me, so I can't really fault it. I can only review it based on my own experiences with it, and it's not let me down. And I'm comfortable to say I put thousands of rounds through it. The only downside is that for me, I find the buttons very difficult to press, but that could also be something specific to me, right? Maybe your grip is different. I'm not saying everyone's going to find it that way, but I can only review a product based on my own experiences with it. So that is an opportunity for them to improve. Guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I've reviewed this product a bit harder than I do quite a few, because Olight are beginning to become well known in the market, and I feel like it's important that we push them. So that's it, guys. Have a good week. I'll see you soon for a review. Be safe, train hard. Cheers. God bless.